The Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature expansion pack trailer only just came out, and already the community is divided on their reaction. And honestly, this division I think is exactly why the team opted for an expansion pack over a Fairies game pack. Really quickly, before we get into opinions, I do want to share that the Sims team has a lot planned. Normally we do of course get a gameplay trailer and also a live stream, but it seems to me there might actually be other separate events. This includes a Create a Sim Spotlight, a Build by Spotlight, in addition to the gameplay trailer, a World Spotlight, a live stream with a special guest, whatever that means, and also Discord challenges. As of this recording, I don't know the dates for most of this. This is how they posted it, so it will be interesting to see if they rectify this in the next day or two. That aside, I do want to get into opinions because number one, I do give lots of opinions on this channel and it's my own perspective, and I don't want this channel to be just about what I think. But more importantly, I like to understand the psychology behind the Sims community, but also the Sims team. While I disagree with a lot of their decisions, I like to understand the why. Even though on my channel, I would say most people reacted either neutral or a little bit more hesitant about this pack, there definitely are people that are excited for it too, and I think that is important to showcase. This person mentions this pack might be good for rags to riches or runaway teen. In fact, in my initial trailer reaction, I mentioned just that. I think that the theme of this pack was really having challenges in mind, from rags to riches, and others mentioned the Decades Challenge. Now, I would argue we have packs that can already help accomplish this, but still, I think this is the strategic reason they went with the theme they did. This person also mentioned the Celtic music and that they are very excited for Fairies. However, other people were a little bit more reticent. For example, Mikey here said, lack of fairies in their gameplay makes me scared for them, not gonna lie. Now I will agree, the reveal trailer didn't showcase fairies very much. Now the blog post does mention different pathways that fairies can follow, and at least I very much hope that means they have a skill tree. It's also possible that the gameplay trailer will showcase fairies more prominently. That said, even if the gameplay trailer does showcase fairies more, again I want to emphasize I don't think fairies are the main thing of this pack. Aspects like ailments and foraging are potentially the bigger parts of the pack, and fairies help complement that. Many people did take issue with what they saw as recycled content. Absolute recycled garbage, whoop-de-doo. A fairy costume and hoovering around like a robot, or sleeping like a werewolf, or fetching the creature creeper. I mean, fairy doctor. However, I do want to push back against this is more than a fairy costume at very least. However, someone spotted something pretty interesting in the trailer. That is, there was a child sim with what appeared to be costume fairy wings. Not the Sims team giving children fairy wings with a generic shirt and a harness. This is what waiting years for fairies in The Sims 4 looks like. So I will say I don't know if children can be fairies or not, or if it's genetic or what's going to happen. This does appear to be more costumey. I don't know if these are the actual wings. Know in the comments below about your fairies here. Do you think children are just going to get costume wings? Do you think this is another addition? What do we make of this? Honestly, it's hard to know for sure. And yet another person took issue with the world. One thing I'm starting to notice is a lot of the worlds have an ugly, sometimes childish, statue in them. Now, I did mention this, I almost feel like there's a formula for some of these worlds. We basically have 3 different districts, and there do tend to be some similarities. Mostly, I don't think this is an ugly world, but I do think they could have gone more imaginative and fantastical. Some people also say it looks very much like San Sequoia, while other people think it looks like the cottage living world. Now honestly, I do see some overlap. I don't think it looks just like those worlds, I just think there needs to be a little bit more to distinguish it. Then again, I am eager to see a little bit more of it, and I really hope there is a secret part to it as well, especially in the forest. Now, I will say actually most people actually seemed kind of interested in fairies. If you were interested in fairies, many people said that fairies were looking pretty decent and they liked the idea of lots of customization. This person also mentions the fairies look interesting. However, the rest of the content is all recycled fluff. Sleeping on the ground, bathing in water, forage everywhere without a log, and this skill is like potion making. Another person said vampires is game pack, werewolves is game pack, witches is game pack, but fairies is expansion pack. As you can tell, some people want this rags to riches challenges and other things like that. that. Some people were not interested in fairies at all. Perhaps the Sims team said, well, less people are going to buy it if fairies are a niche topic, and therefore we want to pump out an expansion pack during summer. Maybe summer sales are higher, and we want to add elements that will appeal to people if they do not like occults or fairies in general. This is of course just a theory. It will be interesting to see if there are going to be any more game packs. What are the implications for any more supernatural content? And with this, some people actually do like the complete package. I need this now. It has everything I've been wanting. New gameplay for Rags to Riches, more harvestables, fairies, cottagecore, and fairy core items. It will be torture to wait until July 10th. Now, with this, I can also see some people really liking it for good pack integration, at least assuming there actually is good pack integration. And that is where we get into a really interesting topic. How much pack integration do we want? How much do we want it to complement packs? And how much should it stand alone? In my humble opinion, an expansion pack should naturally have pack integration that is so important. On the other hand, it should bring mostly all new and fresh content. So new and fresh content that adds to the game and expands your game, but also doesn't feel like any repeats of any packs prior. And again, I still think we'd better off with a new Sims game entirely, but we are talking in context of Sims 4. And also, as per usual, we also have to consider that people play Sims 4 for different reasons, and that also includes building. And others just can see a lot of value in a pack that brings good build buy items. The lack of fairy gameplay in this trailer scares me, but at least the build buy will be gorgeous. Probably will be some pretty great builds from this pack. I will say they could have gone even further with the mystical theme, but as I said before, I think the Sims team is going for a quote-unquote more universal appeal, adding in some items that do tie into fairies, but also ones that are very versatile and go along with other packs. This all rounds off with a pretty drastic comparison between two different tweets. This looks good, it gives major whimsy fairy and Lotor Hobbit vibes, really excited. Versus this person says, why this expansion pack? All occults were game packs, it looks like a game pack. I wanted fairies of course, but with so many bugs I encounter, I do not trust the pack quality. And yes, of course that is going to come up with every single Sims 4 pack, and certainly right now we have a couple pretty big issues. Another concern I have, aside from save corruption file issues and weather, I am also concerned that this pack is going to be reliant on both the emotion system and gardening. Both emotions and gardening are a little bit problematic in Sims 4. That said, with all these big takes and reactions, I have to emphasize, sometimes the Sims 4 pack looks way better than it actually is, actually a lot of the time, and sometimes it actually undersells the pack. All in all, my jury is out on this pack. I'm somewhat neutral. I am a little skeptical on some aspects. All in all, I really need to see the gameplay trailer, the live stream, and other showcases to understand more about this pack. So let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. What side do you fall on? Do you agree or disagree with some of these comments? As always, please take care, and I'll see you in the next video.